I saw you standing where the candles meet the wall, a silhouette that didn't need to say a word at all. The way your shoulders held the weight of something old, a story written long before the night had been told. I wasn't looking, no, I wasn't in that place, but the room rearranged itself around your face. The music found a different groove beneath my feet, and something ancient in my chest began to beat. I've crossed the Limpopo in my dreams, but nothing felt this wide. Nothing felt this first light on skin, like the high veil before the sun is burning. I don't know your name, but I know the language your silence is speaking. First light on skin, and the whole room holds its breath to begin. Something older than words, older than wanting, is pulling me in. It's pulling me in. You reached across the table for a glass of something cold. Your wrist, a conversation that my eyes couldn't let go. The bass line underneath us pulled our rhythms to the same. Two strangers at the edge of something neither one can name. I watched you laugh at something that I couldn't hear. The sound imagined sweeter for the distance and the fear. The night was young and careless with this door flung open wide, and I was standing on the threshold terrified inside. What is this gravity that bends the air between two bodies? Ooh, what is this gravity? It pulls like water to the sea. First light on skin, like the high veil before the sun is burning. I don't know your name, but I know the language your silence is speaking. First light on skin, and the whole room holds its breath to begin. Something older than words, older than wanting, is pulling me in. Pulling me in. First Still water, still water doesn't warn you. Still water doesn't warn you of its depth. It just reflects the sky and holds its breath. You smiled across the room, the way the moon doesn't ask permission to illuminate. I was mid-sentence, mid-thought, mid-pretense, when you walked in and rearranged my present tense. The conversation I was having lost its thread, and every word I planned dissolved before it spread. And I've learned to read the weather, I've learned to read the ground, the pool of still water, knowing there are depths below the glass. Like the pool of still water, I lean in even though the current lasts. You don't reach for anything, you simply are. And I am drawn away, the desert reaches for a star. Your voice, a register I hadn't heard before, a frequency that found the gap inside my core. The way you held your hands, deliberate at rest, suggested fires carefully kept inside a chest. I watched you notice things that others let pass by, a flower in a crack, a child's unguarded cry. The room was full of noise, but you were listening to everything beneath the surface shimmering. I don't believe in instant things, I don't believe in fate, but something in this borrowed life refuses to be late. Like the pool of still water, knowing there are depths below the glass. Like the pool of still water, I lean in even though the current lasts. You don't reach for anything, you simply are. And I am drawn the way the desert reaches for a star. Still water, deeper than the sky. Still water, We've learned the architecture of each other's sleep, the side you favor and the dreams you sometimes keep. The way your breathing slows when something resolves inside, the particular way you sigh when you've decided not to hide. I know the temperature you need before you feel at rest, the 3 specific words that quiet something in your chest. We built a private language out of looks and pauses, hands, a country with no borders that nobody understands. They ask me what love looks like, and I say it looks sentences that neither wants to miss. Between two silences, I found my home. Between your breathing and the dark before the dawn. Between two silences, no need for proof, just the weight of you beside me and the truth that some things don't require words at all. Some things don't require words at all. The morning comes and finds us tangled at the seam. The boundary between my body and your dream. I trace the geography of your shoulder, your spine, the familiar continent of you entirely mine. You laugh before you're fully conscious, before the day takes hold, and something in that laughter is more precious than gold. We've survived the seasons of each other's worst and found on the far side of drought a kind of thirst. I used to think that love was something you could lose. But you've become the air I breathe without a choice to choose. Between two silences, hey, 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 I found my home. Hey, hey, between your breathing and the dark before the dawn. Between two silences, hey, hey, no need for proof, hey, hey, just the weight of you beside me and the truth that some things don't require words at all. Some things don't require words at all. Oh, no need for words. No, 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 oh, no, oh, no. We come from different rivers, but we reach the same sea. My blood remembers things your blood also knows to be. I've heard the drum inside your chest in my own chest before, like a prayer I learned somewhere I've never been before. You carry the red earth of a place that shaped your bones, and I carry the dust of mine whenever fully home. But when you place your hand against my hand in the dark, we are two walls of the same cave holding the same spark. And if the ancestors are watching, let them watch tonight. Let them see how two people learn to hold each other right. From of the same river, beat that I was born to recognize. same river. In your chest is where my heart resides. We are not the same, we are not the same, but something runs between us with no name. Drum of the same river, oh, drum of the same river. You pray in a language older than the land. I watched your grief move through you, the way fire moves through sand. And I have not looked away, I have not needed to explain, because I know the ceremony. I have danced inside that pain. We hold our histories differently, but we hold them just the same, with the tenderness toward the burning and the respect for the flame. You are not my mirror, but you are my witness, my ground, the one who hears the drumming when the drumming makes no sound. Some love is loud and announces itself at the gate. Some love just sits beside you and refuses to be late. Some love rebuilds you slowly, with no fanfare and no haste. Some love is the drum you find after all the searchings fade. Somewhere you are breathing, somewhere you are. I set a place for you 3 nights, running at the table. Not from madness, but from hope, dressed up as ritual. The radio plays songs that have no business being here. They carry a frequency of season, your specific year. That longitude and love don't have to mean the same disease. 10,000 kilometers is just a number on a map. But tonight it is the only thing standing in the gap. It's a steady kind of knowing. Somewhere in the world tonight, you are breathing, you are going through your own version of this evening. And maybe you set a place for me to salt in the satellite dish, trying to pull your signal from the air. Salt in the satellite dish, my whole body bent towards somewhere where you are not here, where you are not here. And every song I play is just a shape of what the silence sounds like when you're not here. Somewhere you are breathing, somewhere you are. Somewhere you are breathing, somewhere you are. No, 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 no. Taking account in the hours, the way the tide counts, it's short. Not looking for meaning, just something to anchor the floor. The city outside is no use for the ache in my chest. It just keeps its pace, keeps its pace, keeps its relentless address. I walk past the places we made into something we wait. The cafe, the corner, the bench where we argued too late. And they don't remember us. City's a merciful cold, but my body is not so forgiving. My body is old. And time was supposed to be medicine. That's what the careful people say. But time is just a distance keeping hours, counting the cost of away. The distance keeps us ours, ticking like the bush at night, when all the small things call each other through the dark to find a light. The distance keeps us ours, and I keep mine, counting every morning that I wake and you're not mine, and you're not mine. just together in the season. Not mine, not yet. Oh, no, no, no. You left on a Thursday, which seemed wrong for an ending. Thursdays are for ordinary things, not for the rending of a thing that took us years to build and minutes to destroy. I didn't cry immediately, I just stood there like a boy who cannot comprehend the way that has decided to be done, who keeps his coat on in the house and waits on a change, son. The room still held your smell for 4 days after you had gone. I slept on your side of the bed and called that moving on. I've known the Karoo in August, all that beautiful dead dry. At least that silence is honest, at least the Karoo doesn't lie. What the fire left is not ash, it's just the shape of what we had. The outline of a warmth now cold, the silhouette of something sold. What the fire left I still hold in rooms that echo in bones gone old. What the fire left is not enough, but I will build from what the fire left. I found your earring behind the bathroom cabinet door, the small gold one you lost and cursed about before. I held it for an hour in my palm like something holy, the way you hold a stone from somewhere you can't reach now, lonely. And what do you do with a piece of someone's daily life, but left behind the residue, a fragment of a wife? Not mine now, never officially, but worn into my world. A small gold comma at the end of a sentence unfurled. I'm not angry, I was angry, I was angry for a year. But anger isn't easier dressed than grief, and I have been evicted from that house, and now I live here in this bare field called after. left is not ash. It's just the shape of what we had. The outline of a wolf now cold. The silhouette of something sold. What the fire left out still holding rooms that echo in bones gone old. What the fire left is not enough, but I will build from what the fire left. I will build from what the fire left. Love. Love. Sure forgets the way. I gave you the best of the season, the part with the light still soft, when the day hasn't yet hardened its edges or counted the cost. You took what you needed, the way the ocean takes what it needs, with no malice, with no apology, with the indifference of tides. And I am the shore, that's the part I've been learning to name. The shore doesn't own the waves, the shore just holds the shade of every wave that chose it and then chose to leave again. The sand a record of arrivals and a record of ends. And I press my ear to the memory, the way you press a shell, hoping for the ocean. Instead I heard the fell. The shore forgets the way, but the wave reshapes the shore, and nothing looks the same as it was before you left my door. The shore forgets the way, but it carries all the marks, the tide lines and the sculptures that the leaving always carves. You're gone and I'm still standing, remade by what you were. The shore forgets the way, but the shore is changed for sure. You said love doesn't promise to stay, only that it came and now it's furious. A beautiful lie dressed up as plain, but lying here in the residue of everything we were, I find a kind of grace inside the truth. However hard, the bird that leaves the branch does not betray the tree. The branch was only ever the beginning of the free. You flew in the direction you were built for, true and clear, and I was the place you rested before you disappeared. And maybe the lesson is that I am not the destination, I am the deepening, I am the space that made you wanna fly. I am the earth that held the root of something reaching for the sky. woke up and didn't reach for the phone first thing. Didn't check the silence for the weight it might bring. I made my coffee the way I used to before I made it for two. And the kitchen felt small and then it felt exactly right. I walked the long way home without knowing why, just following the day the way you follow a kite. The body knows things, the mind is slow to learn. The feet decide to walk before the heart can discern. I'm not over, that's not the point. The point is I'm still in the world. The point is morning finds me upright, a flag instead of a flag unfurled. Learning the new ground beneath my feet, finding out what's mine now, what I keep. Learning the new ground, slow and unsure, discovering the version that endures. I'm not healed, I'm healing. There's a difference between the scar and the wound. Learning the new ground, learning to bloom. I called a friend I've been avoiding for too long. We talking to the city outside, shifted to a song. I bought a plan for the table, nothing dramatic, just green. Something alive that doesn't know what I've been. I played the music that I've given up is yours. Turn the volume up and open the doors. And I dance, not well, not freely, not without thought, but I dance to the thing that the silence had taught. There were things I lost in losing you that were mine to keep forever anyway. Parts of myself I'd lent out too long, things I've forgotten how to say, but they return, not all at once. The way the grass returns after drought, not traumatic, not announced, just quietly growing up. Learning the new ground beneath my feet, finding out what's mine now, what I keep. Learning the new ground, slow and unsure, discovering the version that endures. I'm not healed, I'm healing. There's a difference between the scar and the wound. Learning the new ground, learning to bloom. Learning, still learning, and that's enough. The rainy season doesn't explain itself to the cracked earth. It just arrives and does the work of reinvention and rebirth. I've stopped explaining myself to people who like the version I was before. there for a season, not for anyone to watch, not for clarity or reason, but because the floor is honest and the floor is held to falling, and the floor is where the next thing starts when you've done with all the calling. I am not who I was, but I know who I'm becoming. I can hear it in the distance, like a drum that keeps on coming. The rain has its own word, and so do I. I don't need permission from the drought to water my own sky. The rain has its own word, and I have mine. The earth that broke for you is turning toward a different kind of life, a different kind of life. Oh, a different kind of life. I buried what needed burying. I mourned what needed to be mourned. I sat with every version of the grief until I was shorn of the story I've been telling that was keeping me in place. The story where I am the one who couldn't hold the space. The truth is messier and kinder and entirely mine. Two people who were real and right until they weren't aligned. No villains in the story, just the weather and its seasons, and a love that was its own complete thing with its own complete reasons. Let the rain come down on all of it, the grief, the grace to get them through. Let the rain come down and name it all. Let the rain make everything new. Not a race, transform the difference between the fire and the field. The thing that burned is not the thing that grows, but it is the ground that will not yield. The rain has its own word, and so do I. I don't need permission from the drought to water my own sky. The rain has its own word, and I have mine. The earth that broke for you is turning toward a different kind of life, a different kind of life. My own world, my own life. The room is hot and full of something neither of us names. We've been circling this moment since the evening lost its frames. The way you set your glass down, deliberate, a signal sent. The way my silence answered it, we both know what it meant. Your collarbone, the geography I want to navigate. Your breath has changed its rhythm and the night is getting late. We've been speaking in the grammar of the hands, the look, the lean, and every unfinished Fever in the marrow, fire in the grave. I have been this thirsty, I cannot say for how long this same. Fever in the marrow, your hands in the dark, the whole night rearranged around. The distance between us made small, made small, made small. Made small. Made small. I trace the road map of your shoulder to the dark, where daylight is not reached, where only I've been asked to breathe. And is a country that I want to know by heart, every elevation and every tender unguarded part. The night outside is doing what all good nights do, holding its breath around whatever's happening with you. And I am all attention, all the rest is armed away. Everything that worried me this morning chose to stay. Let this be slow, let this be without the weight of tomorrow. Let there be only skin in the dark, let there be only your name, let there be only this. Fever in the marrow, fire in the grave, fire in the grave. I have been this thirsty, I cannot say for how long this same, how long this same. Fever in the marrow, your hands in the dark, the whole night rearranged around. The distance between us made small, made small, made small, made small. Just this, just this. There are rivers in this continent that don't appear on maps, that run beneath the red soil, finding secret overlaps. Your mouth is one of those rivers, unmapped, undocumented, deep, saying things that the formal language was designed to keep. I have been a careful man, I've measured and I've planned, but careful doesn't serve me here, down here in the unmapped land. You carry me the way the river carries what it finds, without intention, without cruelty, without the thinking mind. thing you only name after it passes. Your mouth, the river, your hands, the banks that overflow. Your mouth, the river, taking everything I thought I know and laying it down gently in the silt below. Your mouth, the river, and I will follow where you go, where you go, where you go. Your spine, a tributary of the most astonishing grace. The geography of you more complex than I had dreamed to trace. I have been mapping you by touch since the dark alive. Every ridge, every hollow, every prayer said aloud. The night condenses on the window, the city sleeps outside. And then here we are, the only weather, the only tide. I have left my careful reasoning at the door tonight. I'm becoming instead the kind of man who knows the river's right. I don't swim, I'm tall, but here I am, not drowning, not fighting the current, just going the way the river goes, the way the river knows to go. Your mouth, the river, your mouth, the river, your mouth, the river. Your mouth, the river, your hands, the banks that overflow. Your mouth, the river, taking everything I thought I know and laying it down gently in the silt below. Your mouth, the river, and I will follow where you go, where you go, where you go, where you go. The river, the river, the river, the river, the river, the river. I used to look for love in the spectacular, the grand, and declarations made at altitude in the promised land. But it was here, it was always here, in the Tuesday and the plane, in the way you passed the salt without me having to explain, in the way we sleep through storms and we who used to wake afraid, in the life we made from nothing except the choices that we made. I was waiting for a burning bush of voices eternal in the ordinary, in the coffee and the key, in the name you call across the house, to the irreplaceable me. Eternal in the ordinary, in the growing old and slow, in the choosing every morning what the ceremonies know. That love is not the moment, love is all the moments after. Love is the life we build out of the ordinary matter. The photograph on the wall that nobody ever bought a frame for, the song we always skip but neither one of us erases more. The way you know my sadness before I've named its species, the way I know your hunger by the particular silences. We've grown into each other like two trees on a shared slope, not merged, not the same, but shaped around the other's hope. I look at you and I see the person I became by being near, the one who kept on staying, the one who kept on here. And if there is a force that made this world and bent the paths that put us in the same room, then I have nothing left to ask of it but this: let me be, as long as I am anything, standing in this ordinary life, beside this extraordinary person who chose me for the rest of their life. Eternal in the ordinary, in the coffee and the key, in the name you call across the house, to the irreplaceable me. Eternal in the ordinary, in the growing old and slow, in the choosing every morning what the ceremonies know. That love is not the moment, love is all the moments after. Love is the life we build out of the ordinary matter. Ordinary matter, extraordinary life. Choose it, still choose it. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Before I knew your name, I knew your name. Before the first word that was already acclaimed, stayed somewhere older than memory, older than the ground. Before you found me, I was practicing the sound of someone I would someday have to be, the person adequate to stand beside thee. I was being shaped by years I didn't understand, learning how to hold the weight that fills your head. And I have no theology for this, no language equal to the size, but I know that I was built for something, and that something has your eyes. Before the first word, we were already this. Before the first word, there was already a covenant of bliss that didn't need the tongue to name it, didn't need a witness or a ring. all the versions of my life that had no you. The different roads, the other choices, other views, and I can't reach them, not because they weren't real, but because this feels like the original deal. The one the river had in mind before the mountain moved, the one the sea was holding before the soil was grooved. I am not a man of absolute certainties, I know, but I am certain of the compass, certain of the home. There is a kind of love that is not a feeling. It is a substance, it is the material.